Let's move on from Ted Lasso, though, and let's head on to another very popular franchise. This one is going to be one that is, I think, exclusively on the big screen. It is one of the most lucrative franchises in Hollywood history. We are talking about Jurassic World. Now, just to give a little bit of context about my personal feelings about the new Jurassic World films, because obviously, like everybody, and I'm not, I mean, hyperbole, obviously. If you don't like the original Jurassic Park, totally fine. Just know you're in the minority, but totally fine if you don't like the original Jurassic Park. I am in the majority, the vast, vast majority. The original Jurassic Park film and book, by the way, I really enjoy the book as well. The original Jurassic Park film is just a classic. It's one of those films that was made, I guess now almost 30 years ago. And exactly 30 years ago? I could be wrong, but maybe exactly 30 years ago. And it just holds up. It is a classic. It's amazing. Just incredible what the technology was with the CGI and everything like that. And then obviously, we all remember in 2015, they rebooted it with Jurassic World to massive success, at $1.6 billion, I think, something like that. Crazy amounts of success. They did Fallen Kingdom, I think in 2018, which, was a movie. And then last year, or maybe 2 years ago in 2022, they did Jurassic World Dominion. And we kind of thought that would be the end of the franchise. Now, from my perspective, just to kind of quickly give my thoughts before we get into this news here, I enjoyed the first film. In fact, it came out at a time when I think that film was kind of made for people around my age. It was just sort of a fun dinosaur film. And at that time, I had seen the original Jurassic Park, but, didn't have that appreciation of it that I do now. And so it was definitely a film that I enjoyed for what it was, but, it just wasn't crossing my mind of like, oh, maybe this isn't as good as the original or whatever. Like, that didn't matter to me at all. It was Jurassic World. Jurassic Park was back. Dinosaurs were back with new CGI. Didn't even think about, Bryce Dallas Howard's character, who I just can't remember her name in that film, but wearing heels. I wasn't even thinking about any of that kind of stuff. So I enjoyed the first film in the rebooted trilogy, and then the second film came out, and that was one of the films, I think 2018 or 2019 when that film came out, that I remember just really being like, this is not a good film in my opinion. And even at that time, while I was, writing about films on a blog and, starting to think more critically about movies in a different way, even at that point, I was still more positive on most of the films. I'm still pretty positive on most things I see just because I tend to want to enjoy things that I watch. But even then, at that time, I walked out of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and I was like, this was not an enjoyable experience. And there were a lot of reasons why, the clone girl and sort of just the circular nature of everything just running around and everyone running around the auction and whatnot. So not my favorite film. For sure. And then, we all came back to see Jurassic World Dominion because the original cast came back and we were all like, well, now that the dinosaurs are roaming the earth, who knows, right? Who knows, if this could be a different take because everything's kind of they've been on an island and what are they going to do? And so this is a little different. Turns out it was different, but in a very odd way in which we were dealing with locusts and bugs and everything like that. So it was a little strange. Not my favorite movie. And so, the excitement for Jurassic World is kind of diminished for me. That being said, for audiences, well, yes, none of the sequels have ever made nearly as much as that first Jurassic World film. They've grossed a lot of money. In fact, I don't know if all of them have made $1 billion, but I think at least 2 out of 3 of them have. So this is a money-making franchise. And, I mean, with an IP that is sort of as evergreen, if you will, as, Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, which is kind of ironic given the dinosaurs went extinct. But, I mean, kids, at least, are always going to love dinosaurs, right? And just seeing dinosaurs and running around with them is always going to be a fun experience. And so, while I thought that there would be a reboot at some point, I didn't think it would be that soon. Well, it turns out that I think just 3 years after the last Jurassic Park film, Jurassic World Dominion, we are getting another film in the franchise. It'll be Jurassic World Rebirth, and we have some new details about the film, which is very interesting. So first of all, the cast. The cast is very interesting. It'll be headlined by Mahershala Ali, who is still waiting for Blade and Blade's script and Blade to get a director, Blade to even get off the ground, which is crazy. Mahershala Ali, in the meantime, will be part of this Jurassic World Rebirth film. You have Scarlett Johansson, another MCU, well, I was going to say another MCU alum. Mahershala Ali has not been in the MCU proper, but, another MCU adjacent figure, obviously, is Black Widow. And so those two will be headlining the film. Really interesting because those two are Academy Award level actors. Not to say that, it loses credibility when you have Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, but it's a little bit of a different caliber, right? When you get Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson to join a Jurassic Park film, right? I think that that's also really exciting. So casting is really interesting. Casting is pretty spot on. And now we get some details. So first of all, the film is coming out next year, July 2nd, 2025, which is literally in 10 months. Kind of crazy to think about, considering I think 3 or 4 months ago, we had no idea this film was even happening at all. And then now we find out it's filming, or it's filmed. I think it's finished filming, actually. It's done. It's heading into post-production, and we're going to see this film come to the big screen. Now, in terms of other news surrounding Jurassic World Rebirth, we actually have some plot details as well. And so I'm just going to read some quotes from this article here that talk about what we have learned about the film. So this article says, according to an official summary, the film will be set 5 years following the events of Jurassic World Dominion, when, quote, the planet's ecology has proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. So kind of interesting. This is now my commentary. Kind of interesting that we're kind of heading back to the original. The Earth is unable to suit dinosaurs, and what happens now that dinosaurs are roaming the Earth again, but it's proven that not all of them can really survive in this planet. Kind of interesting premise there. So that's the first half of this quote. The second half of the quote offers a little bit more insight into what the story is going to be about. So let's read the second half here. Quote, those remaining exist in an isolated equatorial environment with climates resembling the one in which they once thrived. The synopsis continues. The 3 most colossal creatures within that tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. End quote. So this is really interesting, right? Because, I mean, as it seems like, and I could be wrong, they could all be on an island for all I know. But it seems like we're kind of moving past the whole survive the island kind of thing, which is fun. I mean, obviously the first Jurassic Park and Jurassic World 2, Lost Kingdom, like it's all been there. It's been there, done that, and you can do it very well. Like if the synopsis said Scarlett Johansson's character and Mahershala Ali's character try to survive an island with dinosaurs, I'd be like, okay, not thrilled about that, but let's see how entertaining you can make it is sort of what my take on that would have been. The fact that they're going a little bit of a different route, which this also kind of screams a little bit Jurassic World Dominion, in my opinion. The locusts being this key to I don't even remember what the locusts were there for, honestly. But you have this idea of maybe a life-saving cure. Maybe it's the cure for cancer or something, Alzheimer's, something like that, which would be really interesting, I think. And there's actually then now a different reason. Like, it's almost like the humans want to get the dinosaurs. I mean, they've always wanted to experiment on the dinosaurs, which is a really sad thing. But now this is a little bit different because it's almost like humans trying to, find the dinosaurs and collect DNA or collect blood or whatever, and in an effort to kind of save humanity. I think that's an actually really interesting twist on this whole premise. So really exciting, actually, to hear that this Jurassic World film will be heading in a slightly new path than the original ones. I think that's really where you should go. And honestly, most of my excitement for this film rests on the fact that you have 2 of the best actors who are working in the 21st century, and they're signed on to this film, which is again a really exciting thing. Just because you don't just get Mahershala Ali and Scarlett Johansson to sign up for things like this. They have money for days. Mahershala Ali, obviously 2-time Academy Award winner, and Scarlett Johansson, I think Academy Award nominated actress, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously for Marriage Story and others, but also has millions and millions of dollars. It's not just about money for her anymore. So really interested to see where this goes from here. So let me know in the comments down below. Are you excited about Jurassic World Rebirth? This is, I guess, the 4th film, or maybe a soft reboot, but they're keeping the Jurassic World title. That's kind of interesting. Maybe, you would have thought that if you're completely rebooting the franchise, or not completely rebooting, but doing sort of a bigger soft reboot, you could have done like Jurassic Kingdom or Jurassic Planet or whatever. But they're keeping Jurassic World. It's going to be called Jurassic World Rebirth, which is really interesting. And let me know what you think about the title, think about the filming, think about the release date, and most of all, think about the plot details. Let me know in the comments down below.